Tech scams, making fake PC problems into real issues.
So, Mike, we know that when people have a technical support question they don't have the answer to, the first place they'll go is most likely Google. But it sounds like there are some tech support scams that people will be able to accidentally end up at from Google search results. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so there was a story that came out about some malicious ads that made their way into the Google ad network that, depending upon what the user was searching for, would actually serve up malicious ads, and depending upon how often that they had searched for that and how often they had been served that ad, there was actually a rate limit that would, when they clicked on the ad, either take them to the actual legitimate website or present them with a tech support scam informing them that their machine was infected with some sort of an issue and that they needed to call a phone number in order to help resolve that problem.
If the search result comes back with what looks like vague information that doesn't necessarily pertain to what you're looking at, maybe that's a hint that what you've got is something that's really just a scam, trying to prey on your fear of the unknown.
What was really interesting about this campaign was that it would look at the endpoint and determine, based on a number of vectors in whatever this malicious actor's algorithm were, whether or not to bypass that opportunity to try and solicit that user or to redirect them to the malicious scam. And if they had done it more than once or twice in a day, it would actually not allow them to get presented with the scam any longer. So it made it really challenging to identify which ads were serving up malicious content because they weren't always doing it.
That's really interesting. That reminds me a lot of the old, it's a tactic used back in the days of when exploit kits were really big. There was something called a traffic direction service. And I think what you could do is you could, as an attacker, pay into that and you get a certain percentage of redirection. So like if you paid a certain amount, you'd get 5% of total redirections into this traffic direction service. And the rest would go to like...
Similar to ad clicks.
Kind of like ad clicks, but here, the other options would be you would be sent to like, I don't know, some sort of weight loss spam or some sort of other pharmaceutical spam, but a certain percentage, if you paid into it, would get you to the exploit kit. Do you think it's intentional that it's like an anti-analysis method, that after the first click through, you're not allowed to get back there, or is it more of a financial motivation that it's not worth the return?
Tough to say.
Okay.
Anything that keeps your malicious campaign going on longer is going to theoretically net the threat actor, greater returns. But what I do find interesting is that given today's ad ecosystem and the amount of analytics that you can create around ads and the effectiveness of those ads, that the attackers can literally use those same analytics that advertisers use to determine the effectiveness of a particular ad and actually increase the effectiveness of it over time.
That's something. Because then you can pick and choose the kind of people that you think are most likely to fall for a tech support scam.
Exactly.
This is interesting because it kind of hits home with me. I know I've got relatives and parents who would go looking for solutions to their problems in Google and might accidentally fall into one of these scams.
An elderly member of my family recently fell for one of these scams, and they asked her to go get a Google Play card and read them the number for the Google Play card. And that's how they, got the couple $100 that they wanted, at that time. And she wised up eventually, but, it was after having made that mistake. So anytime things seem strange like that, it's a dead giveaway that you're in the middle of a tech support scam. And there's some really great guidance out there to help identify and avoid these types of scams on the ftc.gov website. And if you go to www.consumer.ftc.gov, they have an article out there that goes over a lot of the indications, a lot of the types of payment methods that they'll try to solicit you to using. And it's really a great way to, help not only family members, but also, internal users identify and avoid these kinds of scams.
Well, thanks for bringing us that story.
Thank you, Mike. Even if you're trying to follow a URL in the Google searches, try to hover on the link and see whether it's really saying something, related to a reputed company or not. Anything which seems to be not too good to be true is probably not true.